Daddy Pig is one of the favorite characters for many people who watch Peppa Pig, but could you imagine that his life might have a hidden and sad side? Parents. Daddy Pig is one of the main adults in the series, but we believe his problems started a long time ago when he was still a child. The reason we think that has to do with his parents. Do you have any idea who Daddy Pig's parents are? We can already say that they are not Grandpa Pig and Granny Pig because they are Mummy Pig's parents, which makes them Peppa's maternal grandparents. Now, when it comes to the little pig's paternal grandparents, who would be Daddy Pig's parents? Well, they have never appeared in the more than 20 years the show has been on the air. In fact, those two have never even been mentioned. It's as if Daddy Pig's parents don't exist at all, but we know that's impossible because he must have been born from someone, and that raises a dark possibility. There may be a very bad secret involving Daddy Pig's parents, something so terrible that he doesn't even want to remember them and therefore always avoids talking about them. That secret could be that his parents passed away in a tragic way, or perhaps they abandoned him and his brother. Either way, the tragedy happened when Daddy Pig was still a child. That would explain why they never appear even in flashbacks of when Daddy Pig was little. This may sound dark, but it wasn't the only sad moment in Peppa's dad's life. We still have a lot to talk about regarding the hidden truth you need to know about Daddy Pig. Stay tuned because another awesome Cinewave is already on. Missing sister. The show has already introduced us to Daddy Pig's brother, known as Uncle Pig, but he might also have a sister who, just like his parents, has never been mentioned, as if Peppa's dad is pretending she never existed. If you're wondering why we think that, just take a look at Daddy Pig's office. If you pay attention, you'll see that he has a framed photo of two children who look identical to Peppa and George, but their clothes are different and the image is in black and white, as if it were very old. Because of that, it doesn't make much sense that those two little pigs are actually Peppa and George. In fact, it makes much more sense to believe that the boy who looks like George is a young Daddy Pig. After all, they look alike because they are father and son. It's true that Daddy Pig has appeared as a child in flashbacks and didn't look like that image, but that version of him seemed to be a few years older than George, while this photo could be him at exactly George's age. But if the boy in the image was Daddy Pig, then who is that girl? She appears to be older than Daddy Pig, so she can't be a young Mummy Pig because Mummy Pig is a few years younger than him. In other words, everything suggests that this mysterious girl who looks like Peppa is actually Daddy Pig's secret sister. But what happened to her? Aunt Dottie, Mummy Pig's sister, only took so long to appear because she lives in another country, but at least she had already been mentioned before, unlike this sister of Daddy Pig. So just like in the case of Peppa's paternal grandparents, her aunt on her father's side may also have gone through something so traumatic for Daddy Pig that he decided to act as if she had never existed. Could it be that both his sister and his parents lost their lives in the same accident? That would explain a lot. Hunted by wolves. In the present day, things aren't looking very good for Daddy Pig either. If the problems of his childhood were trauma, the problems of his adult life are truly deadly. We're talking about big bad wolves. If you've ever heard the story of the three little pigs, you know the big bad wolf who wanted to blow down the pigs' houses so he could eat them. And it seems like something similar also happens in the Peppa Pig universe, since the members of the wolf family have already taken several suspicious actions, and it seems like their main target is always Daddy Pig. In fact, there's a good chance that his parents and his sister were devoured by wolves. When Peppa's dad helps build Mr. Wolf's house, the way Mr. Wolf thanks him is by asking what his house is made of, with a sinister smile on his face. Daddy Pig fortunately was clever and realized that he had bad intentions, so he answered that it was made of bricks. Even so, in Wendy Wolf's birthday, the little girl's mother also had the nerve to ask Daddy Pig what his house was made of. With even more suspicion, he once again replied that it was made of bricks. She even insisted on asking if it was made of straw, but he stuck with the same answer, bricks. When we revisit these moments, it becomes clear that the wolf family has plans to devour the pig family, and especially Peppa's dad, probably because he has much more meat than the others thanks to his big belly. He clearly knows how to deal with wolves, which may mean he has had bad experiences with these creatures in the past. That's why we think Daddy Pig may have lost his parents and his sister to wolves. If you ask me, it might even have been Grandma Wolf who devoured them. Would you like to see this connection between Daddy Pig and the wolf family confirmed? If so, comment down below #wolf. Big belly. So far, we've talked about hidden issues that are never said out loud, things only the most attentive viewers notice. Now it's time to talk about something sad in Daddy Pig's life that appears in every single episode, his huge belly. Let's be honest, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Daddy Pig being chubby. The problem is the way many characters make fun of his belly, which is pretty curious since all the adult male characters in Peppa Pig are just just as round, but only the little pig's dad becomes the target of jokes, many of them made by Peppa herself. Seriously, there are many times when Peppa talks about how her dad has a big tummy. In the episode where Grandpa Pig builds a treehouse for his grandchildren, she even makes the password to enter the treehouse, Daddy's Big Belly. Even though Daddy Pig feels hurt by it, Peppa forces him to say it in order to get inside. And the worst part is that Mummy Pig and the grandparents join in on the joke, which only shows that no one respects him. A joke on television. When we say that nobody respects Daddy Pig, we really mean it, because he even ended up becoming a national joke. It all started when Mr. Potato was hosting his television show and received a drawing made by Peppa. The drawing turned out to be a portrait of Daddy Pig. When Mr. Potato saw the size of his belly, he simply said that Daddy Pig needed to do some exercise. Peppa's dad took the joke lightly, but that wasn't a very nice thing to say, and it's possible that deep down he felt hurt. The truth is that nobody would like to be mocked on a TV show they enjoy, just so everyone can laugh. It's also possible that Mr. Potato's program is broadcast in other parts of the world, which makes it even worse, because that would mean Daddy Pig has become an international joke. Stuck. Daddy Pig doesn't even have to try to be teased by others, but as if that weren't enough, he has already gone through a very humiliating situation many times that only makes the jokes worse. You may have already realized that this humiliating situation refers to all the times Daddy Pig gets stuck somewhere because his belly is so big. This didn't happen just once or twice. It happened many times. It even reached a point where Daddy Pig realized it was practically a rule. In the episode Soft Play, he notices that he's about to go through a hole and that he's going to get stuck in it. Even so, Daddy Pig went through the hole and really did get stuck, as if it were his only choice. And in a way, that's true, because the writers of Peppa Pig will keep making him get stuck in tight spaces so that we can laugh at him. Daddy Pig is practically cursed. The subscribe button is flashing just for you. Click it and hit the bell right now. No gold stars. Daddy Pig's childhood may have been quite traumatic if our theories about his father and his sister are correct, but the series itself has already shown a moment from Daddy Pig's youth that wasn't very pleasant in the episode Playgroup Star. In this episode, we see that Madame Gazelle gives out stars to reward students who make a good drawing, but we learn that Daddy Pig never received one of those stars when he was little, unlike Mummy Pig. He even lies and says he doesn't remember when Peppa asks him about the stars, because he feels embarrassed about never having received one. And that's very strange, because the drawing Daddy Pig made at that age was actually very well done. Both Peppa and Susie Sheep compliment the artwork when they see it. Even so, he never received a single star during all the years he studied at that school. Could it be that Madame Gazelle simply didn't like Daddy Pig? She did give him a star after all these years, but only because Peppa brought his drawing to the school. If we're being realistic, Madame Gazelle probably gave Daddy Pig that star only because she felt pressured, but at least he finally received one, because never having earned a star had hurt his feelings for all those years. Silly. If the jokes made about Daddy Pig only mocked his weight, his situation would already be bad enough. But there's another problem. The characters often laugh at him because he can be a bit silly. Of course, Peppa is one of the characters who does this the most, and she even has the habit of calling him Silly Daddy. The worst part is that, even though he is very intelligent and works in engineering or architecture, Daddy Pig really can be a little silly sometimes. Seriously, while trying to teach the children how cement works, he simply stepped into a puddle of cement and got stuck in it when the cement hardened. That's a ridiculous mistake. Not to mention that Daddy Pig doesn't know how to do some very basic things, like hanging a picture on the wall. When he tried to do that, he ended up making a huge hole in the wall. Meanwhile, Mummy Pig managed to hang the picture in just a few seconds and without any difficulty. Jealous of Uncle Pig. Uncle Pig is Daddy Pig's older brother, and the two of them look very similar, but the small differences are important. Because he is a little slimmer than Peppa's dad, Uncle Pig doesn't suffer jokes about his weight. He is also a bit more serious, and in fact, he doesn't like being compared to his younger brother. The two of them seem to have a good relationship, but this thing about not liking to be compared makes us wonder, could it be that Uncle Pig deep down doesn't really like his younger brother that much? And could Daddy Pig feel a certain jealousy toward his older brother? After all, whether we like it or not, Uncle Pig is basically an improved version of him. The fun continues with just one click. There are 2 videos on the screen waiting for you. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.